Do you feel like you're in a never-ending cycle of winning and losing in Marvel Rivals ranked? Well, this is real and it's exactly how it's supposed to work. Today we're tackling the truth about the rank system in Marvel Rivals. And if you find this content enjoyable in any way, shape, or form, do me a favor of hitting that like and subscribe button. We're pushing for 10,000 subscribers and we're almost there already, so might as well join in. But regardless, I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy this show. So what is this rank system that so many players have been talking about in Marvel Rivals? Well, it's designed to keep you playing longer. This system encourages you to keep climbing, but the only real way out is to absolutely hard carry. And you can actually check this by looking at your streak. You can see you've lost so many games or won so many games in a row, and then suddenly we start winning or losing against easier opponents. These wins, I mean, they're pretty much give me wins. It's kind of like you're an NFL superstar, and then all of a sudden you decide to participate in like Pee-wee football, but then inevitably we hit a wall. Suddenly we're paired with players who seem completely clueless and actually have no idea what's even going on. And that's where this whole debate is started from. I think for a lot of people, myself included, at first I ignored the claims that the rank system is rigged. In every competitive game, there's always a group that believes the system is stacked against them. And because it is a game with a ranked mode, I didn't really think it was that serious of a discussion. But then some more people started pushing the idea, and players were eventually blaming it on EOMM, or engagement optimized matchmaking, basically a manipulated system. Now this debate has been a factor in numerous games, stretching from Halo all the way up to Valorant. It seems like any type of game with a ranked system can never escape this. Now a former Riot Games ranked dev lead responded to this debate. I believe a lot of other content creators have also quoted what he said, but this is something that's rather interesting to me. He stated that losers and winners queues aren't impossible, but they actually discourage play. The bigger the skill gap, the more likely players are to quit. Fair matchmaking encourages engagement, not win/loss trading. So if you take what he said, basically the system wants fair matches. It doesn't benefit from forcing players into losing or winning streaks. Now, if matchmaking is fair, why do you go on 5-game losing streaks, then 5-game winning streaks? Now, you can essentially divide it into 3 different categories. The first one being the system adjusts to your performance. Now, in theory, if you keep winning, the system assumes you might be better than your current rank and tests you against stronger opponents or places you in less favorable conditions. For example, having weaker or worse teammates. Another factor is matchmaking is based on perceived skill. Now, if you constantly outperform your rank, you will climb. If you're average, the system will place you in matches where you have a 50% win rate, or a 50% chance of actually winning that match. And you also have to be aware that randomness does play a role, as teammates, role preferences, and even map selection create variance. Sometimes you get a well-balanced team, other times you're forced into uncomfortable roles or even playstyles. Now, everyone complains or always has that general statement of my teammates are bots. Now, if you don't get this, many players claim they get bots on their team after a win streak, but those players are actually at your rank or close to it. Inconsistency is part of competitive gaming. Some players pop off one game and completely flop the next. Team composition can be random. 5 support mains in one game, 2 tank mains playing off role in another. It's kind of just like rolling the dice and hoping pray that you actually have a decent lineup. You also have to factor in opponents can hard counter your playstyle in one game but completely ignore it in your next. And you also have to think that your quote-unquote bot teammate in one match might be the MVP in another. So I would definitely watch out calling someone on your team a bot, because you'll never know what actually happens. Now there's also an argument about rank gains and that everyone's in Grandmaster. Some argue that since rank gains are higher than losses, the system must be rigged, but rank is actually determined by performance and rank inflation. For ranked performance, your stats and impact influence your rank adjustments, especially at the lower levels. Whereas rank inflation, early in the season, top players are placed in lower ranks, causing fast movement. As ranks stabilize, gains and losses eventually even out. Now, for example, Grandmaster isn't the same as before. Celestial rank has widened the skill gap, changing how players distribute across ranks. Now, instead of blaming matchmaking, focus on improving. The system isn't holding you back, your performance is. Players who consistently outperform the rank do climb. Now, it's easy to fall into the mindset that external factors control your success, but the truth is, the rank system is just a tool to measure skill. The more you refine your skill, the less rigged it will feel. Now, circling back around to EOMM and NetEase, where did this come from? You might not really understand what this is. Now, many people claim that NetEase use EOMM, or engagement optimized matchmaking, in Marvel Rivals. Now, basically, this matchmaking emphasizes that fair matchmaking improves player retention. We simplify competition by assuming that fair games lead to a better experience. Now, all of this is cool and all, but what does this actually mean for Marvel Rivals Ranked? Now, if this EOMM system was actually set up, it would mean that players on long losing streaks, for example 5 losses or even 6 or 7 in a row, might receive matchups slightly in their favor, instead of a perfectly balanced 50-50 match, something impossible to achieve every time due to player availability and skill variations. The system might nudge the odds slightly. Now, this system does not mean forced wins or losses. If you're at a disadvantage, you lose slightly less rank. If you're at an advantage, you gain slightly less. That's how ranking systems work to account for variances in matchmaking. Even if Marvel Rivals didn't implement this, it wouldn't prevent skilled players from climbing. Now, winning games where you have an edge doesn't give you an unfair boost, nor does losing when disadvantage set you back unfairly. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, there's actually zero evidence that the system is in the game. People are making assumptions based on one minor mention in a research paper with no proof of actual implementation. Even if this actually were in Marvel Rivals, it wouldn't impact competitive integrity whatsoever. The system doesn't prevent players from ranking up, it just slightly adjusts matchmaking balance to improve player experience. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, mindset matters more than matchmaking. The biggest reason people stay stuck is that they blame external factors instead of improving. Now, trust me, I've been there, and probably you as well, spending a ton of hours in lower ranks blaming teammates and the system. Once you finally take accountability, that's where you start improving. So here's the secret to actually climb in Marvel Rivals. First, get better. If you improve, you'll rank up. It's as simple as that. Second, prove the system wrong. If you consistently outperform your rank, you'll move up. You also want to make impactful plays and minimize mistakes. And you also need to play enough matches. Your skill is the constant factor. You're the only thing you can control. Now, thousands of players have already climbed using this approach, so you can too. Don't get caught up in the EOMM conspiracy theory. Even if it is true, it's not stopping you from improving. Now, there's one other thing you have to factor in. At least half of the former Grandmaster rank, if not all of it, may have changed by the time you're watching this video. Rankings are constantly shifting, and by the end of the season, Grandmaster, currently considered a high percentile, could drop significantly once Celestial and Eternity become more populated. Right now, Eternity has relatively few players, but this will likely change. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Marvel Rivals ranked mode, is it actually rigged or not? To simply answer that question, it's no. There's no significant backing or any real evidence to actually prove that it's true. And one of the best ways to improve in Marvel Rivals is subscribing to Duck Films and watching all of my guides that come out practically every single day. But anyways, hopefully this video has given you a little more insight on what's going down. But regardless, I can't thank you all enough for watching, and I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by, liking the video, and hitting that sub button. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I just threw the fucking res down in the open just to get it down and it worked. Beautiful.